afternoon, everyone. We're welcome to week 6. We're nearly finished. Please make sure that you are getting those drafts together and post them to me by the end of this weekend. As you can see here, the date for the first draft is February 21st. So try to get them to me by then so that I've got time to have a look at them and come back and give you a good review of your papers. I'll tell you, if I ever buy another computer, I need to buy one that's not so, this one is so sensitive. Just wave your hands and things will move. I've posted in here 2 different links to YouTubes. This one's a rather longer one, and in fact this person also has another one that shows you a business-like review. But the main purpose of these is it shows you how to set it up in Microsoft Word. It goes over what's new in APA 7 and how to include those points. Get your drafts to me in plenty of time so that I've got plenty of time to look at them. As of course, remember, your discussions are due by Friday evening so that your classmates will have time over the weekend to make comments before Sunday night. And then Monday in the afternoon, I sit down and grade them. So please make sure that you have looked at that. As I've done in the previous weeks, this will be posted under week 6. And so let's go ahead and look at week 6, what we're looking at. The topic, it says, assume that you looked at week 5 where you were writing a report to your boss about getting standing desks instead of sitting desks. You've got a survey, you did interviews, you put your data together. How do you do it? You're going to, for your survey, you'll use quantitative analysis. Make sure that you've got enough people being interviewed for it to be significant. And then for the interviews themselves, you'll use qualitative analysis, making sure that you're asking the right questions. You'll also be looking at the sample report, we'll be looking at the sample report before the end of the class. Your first draft of this paper will be submitted this week. Keep in mind it is your first draft. Get it to me by the 21st. This week you'll learn to summarize primary and secondary research in order to persuade an audience. You might look around, see if you've got someone in your workplace who might be willing to look at it with you and make comments because they know this, they're familiar with your workplace. All right. Okay, we're going to look at the academic integrity lessons weeks 3 and 4. You've already looked at 1 and 2, which was academic integrity, the overview of what it is and why it's important. Assignments and expectations, starting out on the right track. Then this week you're going to be looking at developing authentic synthesis. You look at what other people say and then you put it in your paper, making sure that your readers will be clear as to who is the person who wrote it, and you're giving, and then of course making sure that you give credit where credit is due. All right, the second section on this had to do with your 7th edition changes. Watch the video, but also have a look at these in-text citations, how to put them together, citing parts of a resource, your reference list, how to format it, and of course, I shouldn't have to remind you of this, but it's always in alphabetical order. If you don't have an author given, then the title or the website page will be where the author's name would normally fall. But again, it still goes into alphabetical order. Different looks at other things, books, dissertations, videos, and then there's some additional resources here. All right, organizing your reports and proposals. When you're going to put your paper together, you decide what order you want to put them in. There's chronological order, where we just put it in based on the series of events. There's spatial order, where we talk about doing it from here to here. If you're in this part of the room, you may have, or you're in this part of the room, and so on. Geographical, by states, regions, or so on. Subdivisions of your main topic. And then the importance of your topics. But go ahead and have a look through here. And then there's some samples that show you how you would put it together. But take your time and have a look at these, and it will help you better organize your paper. All right, fallacies and considering ethical issues of communication. A fallacy is false luck. Red herring. This actually came about from Russia, where the serfs would be escaping from their masters. And what they would do is take a red herring and rub it along the path. The dogs would come along, sniff the red herring, and the smell is so strong that it got stuck in their nose and they couldn't find the people anymore. But a red herring is an opportunity to distract you from the main point and talk about something else that you'd rather do. A straw man is a very weak argument, but it distracts people from stronger arguments. Begging the question is claiming the truth as if it were already an obvious conclusion. Your circular argument, something like once a killer, always a killer. We try to use the proposition to prove itself. The ad populum is the common belief of people. It's often prejudicial and states that everyone holds this belief, also called the bandwagon. This was the one your mom used on you all the time. If all your friends were jumping off a cliff, would you jump off? This is the one that we have certainly been seeing in the news a lot. The ad hominem is when you argue against the man instead of the message. And this was certainly been part of our news. But, it says a representative is a drunk. So how can we trust him on the issues of safety and family? One thing doesn't mean that you can't do the other. Non sequitur, meaning it doesn't follow. In the liberal 1960s, we've seen an increase of convicts who get let off death row. They're not related. That's an older topic. And that was part of the thing where I keep telling you to make sure your information is current. And then coincidental correlation, the post hoc ergo propter hoc. When we were having some work done at our house, I had a plumber do some work on my hot water heater. And the next morning I got up and I had no hot water. And I called the plumber and was very angry and nasty with him. And when he got there, it turned out that it had nothing to do with what he had done, that my circuit breaker had gone out. So, you have to make sure that it's not just two things happening coincidentally. Your ethical points for consideration, have a look at these and kind of think about how this will apply to your argument paper. All right, your qualitative and your quantitative research. We divide research into two basic categories. Qualitative, which means we're looking at the quality of the research that we're doing. And then quantitative, meaning we're talking about, are we giving enough information to convince the person? Again, take some time and read through these lessons and see how it will fit based on your paper. Validity is, does it have value? The way that you can address your validity is to make sure that you cite all your sources clearly. The problem with doing any sort of research like this, if you mislead your reader once and they see that you've misled them, they're not going to trust anything else you've written. You need to be reliable. So I say take some time and have a look. Then we've got statistically significant. If you look at one person or two people and that you claim that two people, and you've got 100 people that you're dealing with, 2 people out of 100 people are not considered statistically significant. It's not enough to prove your point. All right, here you've got some sample videos to have a look at. Strategies for writing the executive summary, a sample report for assignment number 4, and a second sample report for essay number 4. Both of these, unfortunately, are in APA 6, but they'll still give you a good overview and help you see how to put your paper together. Now let's take a moment and have a look at the actual assignment. This is going to a decision maker, whether it's your boss, someone in your community. You're looking for something that can be proven. Basically, this should be the same topic as what you did your writing assignment number 3. I made comments to you on that to help you put your paper together. It will be 2,000 to 3,000 words, and of course it will be cited and listed in APA format. Your writing process, make sure you get your first draft into me this week. If you do not give me 2 drafts, the first draft is the one that will be graded. Your components of your report, it will include a title page, a letter to the decision maker. It might be a letter or it might be a memo. It will be an executive summary, your table of contents, your introduction, the body of the report, including headings and subheadings. Please make sure you got those in there. Your conclusion, your references page, where things are listed in APA format. And then here's an interview on APA format. Primary and secondary sources. You are, of course, incorporating your own primary research. I realize we may not be able to get out and actually talk to people, but you can get on the phone. You can do interviews on the email. There are lots of ways that you can do research without having to be face-to-face with people. Your report will include at least 7 secondary sources, with 3 of these being secondary will come from peer-reviewed scholarly journals. All right. Make sure that you've got graphics, pictures. If they're not your graphics and pictures, you have to give credit to the person that they came from. We've got the due date. It's in another week. After this, week 7 is when or week 8 is when they'll need to be turned in. Let's see. Here's some guides to help you. The topics, we've already looked at them. Submit it. So like I say, get your first draft into me this week. Reminder, as with every week, let me have a quick look at this. This is the rubric assessment for your paper. Things that we're looking for: 2 to 3 words. Do you have an executive summary? Do you have a transmittal letter? Do you have a table of contents, and has it been done correctly? Do you have your introduction, the body of your report, the sources, have you put them in correctly, and of course your references, and as always, grammar and spelling counts. And let me take you then. Just a reminder, as with every week, we will have our discussion topics that you need to respond to. Get those posted by Friday night so that your classmates will be able to get in there and make comments and get them back up by Sunday night.